In this video, we are going to talk about Toshi, some of its recent price action, the important support and resistance areas, and where we can expect the price of Toshi to go in the coming days and weeks. So we'll look at the weekly chart, and what we can see right here is that Toshi is heading towards all-time lows again. Toshi is a coin that I have been covering for many months now on this channel. As you can see here, I've drawn these lines a few months ago. These were two very significant lines of support and resistance, and in December of 2025 Toshi has broken down below this crucial support area and then retested it as a resistance and then continued dumping further, and then the dump started slowing down from this support area of the all-time low from all the way back in April of 2025. But since then it did break down below it and create new all-time lows, and right now it is at that area again. Really, in the last couple of months, Toshi didn't have much volatility considering how small of an altcoin it is. In terms of market cap, it's usually incredibly volatile, but recently the movements have been pretty small. This is something that I've been seeing across the entire crypto market, including Bitcoin as well as other altcoins. There is very little movement and volatility for most altcoins, and Toshi is no different. Really, the picture with Toshi is not looking great at all. It is looking like it's getting some support off of this level and trying to hold on, but I really don't see any sign of a trend reversal yet. Toshi is still very clearly in a very brutal dump. It has been declining all the way since about October of 2025, and it is still in a very clear downtrend. We've seen it continuing to dump, or at the very least consolidate, even when we've seen Bitcoin as well as some other altcoins do pretty well and actually getting some sort of a relief rally. Bitcoin as recently went from about 60k all the way up to over 75k, and despite that, Toshi did not really go up at all. Toshi has been really struggling for a while now, and it seems very likely that it will just continue to create further all-time lows. In general, I think that most altcoins will continue to struggle quite a lot until Bitcoin and Ethereum do a lot better. For us to really see some sort of a sustained alt season, we would first need to see Bitcoin and Ethereum getting closer to all-time highs, and right now both of them are very far away from that, so it seems very unlikely for the altcoin market as a whole to do well, and Toshi's structure specifically looks pretty bad. The first sign that Toshi could potentially get a trend reversal would be if it crosses this area that I'm pointing at on the chart right now. If it does, this would be the first thing that we could potentially call a new higher high and the first sign of a trend reversal. And if that does happen, then it could lead to Toshi actually getting some sort of a relief rally all the way up to the next resistance area. This would be a rally of about 2x from where Toshi is at right now, but this still seems pretty unlikely, and even if it does happen, the resistance at this area is still very strong. And also, I still believe that the crypto market as a whole is still in a bear market in the long term. Although Bitcoin has been getting some recovery recently, I think that it is a counter trend rally, and Bitcoin will eventually continue to go down. And even if I'm wrong about that, the chances of Toshi getting a sustained rally are even significantly lower than Bitcoin's. So overall, both my outlook on the crypto market in general at the moment and the price structure of Toshi specifically both look pretty bad, and I think that the chances of it getting a sustained significant rally are pretty slim, and I think that it is a lot more likely for Toshi to just continue dumping and creating new all-time lows, at least in the long term. Of course, in the short term, anything could happen. It is an incredibly volatile coin. We could see it getting a very significant rally in just a couple of weeks, but overall, I'm not very optimistic about Toshi. Of course, this is not financial advice whatsoever, but I would personally avoid it at the moment, and I would also avoid being heavy into altcoins. As I said in many previous videos, I think that right now, this is a time to be mostly into the largest cap coins, mostly Bitcoin and Ethereum. Of course, if my opinion changes and Toshi gets a significant rally and we see some signs of a trend reversal, I will create a new video updating you guys, so make sure to subscribe to not miss that out. But as I said, at the moment, I would avoid Toshi. Again, no financial advice whatsoever. That's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it and you want more updates about Toshi as well as other altcoins, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.